welcome back to my channel. My name is Leela and I love to read queer, trans, and feminist literature. And today I'm going to be attempting the reading a page for every time I got a notification challenge. So recently I did the reading a page for every time I picked up my phone challenge, and I read Awakened, which was a trans witchy novel about technology and video games. And I wanted to kind of continue this series with another trans witchy novel about technology and video games, and that is ASL by Jean Thornton. I read Jean Thornton's first novel, Summer Fun, this summer, and I was really moved by it. I've been wanting to read this one. Recently, I just finished reading Orlando for my book club, and then as soon as I was done, I was suddenly like, I need to read ASL right now. Okay, so I've gone in and put these little yellow sticky notes in, marking the page goals based on my screen time from last week. So based on the number of notifications I got per day last week to the corresponding day. What was so satisfying about this was the number of notifications that I got last week totaled 475. So on the last day of this challenge, on Tuesday, the goal will be to have read up until page 475. And look at where that is in the book. Literally the last page. That is so satisfying. That feels so synchronicity, divine pattern, magical. I don't know. Anyway, I love that so much. And I actually started yesterday. So yesterday was Wednesday, and last Wednesday I'd gotten 64 notifications. So the goal was to read up until page 64, and I actually found that to be very achievable. I was in a really strong reading mood, and also within the first 50 pages, there is a chapter that is all in the format of an internet chat room conversation in 1998, and I found that that was quite fun to fly through. So I actually ended up surpassing the Wednesday goal by 10 pages, which I was very happy about because I'm determined to really win this challenge. In my phone pickups challenge, I was kind of playing more to have fun, but I want to beat the game this time for sure. And we are actually on track because I have actually also surpassed the goal for today, which is Thursday. Last Thursday, I picked up my phone 93 times. So the Thursday goal was to read up until page 158. And as I was putting these sticky notes in, I thought that that was going to be a pretty significant challenge for me today, but I ended up waking up super early and just started reading and could not stop reading. And I'm currently on page 166. There's my Salem Public Library bookmark, by the way. Isn't she cute? I am loving this book so much. It is the friend that I personally needed right now at this moment. I am really loving it. So this is contemporary literary fiction, but I would say notably the story loves fantasy and sci-fi. So it's literary fiction with a sort of epic fantasy feeling, which I am loving. It's the perfect vibe for me at this moment. And it is rather long. It's almost 500 pages, but I am down. I am in it. I am obsessed. I loved the witchy vocabulary in Summer Fun, I am loving the witchy high fantasy vocabulary in ASL. The pace of the story also feels faster, and I like an addictive story, so I'm liking that. I guess I should tell you what this book is about. So this book is about three people who met each other online as teenagers and were designing an independent video game called Saga of the Sorceress together. Then drama occurred, they fell out of touch, and now the story is picking back up many years later when they're in their 30s. I did actually cry when one of the characters wakes up thinking that they're still a teenager, but then realizes she's in her 30s. I don't know, I felt that. I thought it was so cute that when one of the characters is staying at her friend's house, her friend has a dog-eared copy of A Safe Girl to Love by Casey Plett, and then of course, who wrote the cover blurb? Casey Plett. I love that so much. And there are in Summer Fun, there are fun graphic elements in this book as well, this chat room conversation and illustrated maps and stuff, emails, that type of thing. It is really fun. Currently in the story, the 2016 election just happened, and the character that we're following is finding escape in playing the video game that they played as a teenager that inspired them. And I am relating to that as I am escaping reality through this book, and I'm so grateful to this book for being that fun and cathartic escape for me right now. I love it. So yeah, I'm very pleased to be caught up to my page goals for today. I will go ahead and remove the sticky notes for Wednesday and Thursday. So I do have quite a lot to read tomorrow. Last Friday I had 87 pages, which brings the goal for tomorrow to page 246. I am planning on going to the library this afternoon, so I might bring this book and continue trying to get a head start on tomorrow's pages because I am really loving reading this book. Also, the titular sorceress from their game Saga of the Sorceress mistress has to escape from a magic school run by genocidal wizards. That kind of reminds me of the wizarding school in Harry Potter, so I loved that. Hello, it is Friday morning and I am so obsessed with this book. I am under a spell. I cannot stop reading. Last Friday, I had 87 notifications, which brings the page goal for today to page 245, and I did just reach it. I have been reading all morning. I am obsessed. Let me remove this sticky note. Yes, Friday done. So I am going to Hivemind today and we'll probably read more there for the joy of it. I'm in Sash's perspective now, and I had a suspicion about a certain twist that might occur with her character, and it was confirmed, which was very fun. And I am really relating to her character. I feel like for each of these characters, there is a sort of unfinished story of adolescence. Like, this experience they had as teenagers, I think, was really impactful for all of them, and it's an unfinished story in their lives and in the world of this book. And I think there's something to that as well, with like coming out as trans, like post adolescence and then sort of latent adolescence of that experience, which is being explored, which is really interesting. I am really relating to all of them in their various forms of sort of stuckness, but especially Sash. I relate to her talent for dreaming up beautiful ideas and then getting sort of frozen in perfectionistic fear and failing to commit and follow through. That is like something that I have struggled with, and also like my worst fear for myself that I'm like reckoning with. And like the thing I want the most is to be committed and successful. And anyway, I'm curious to see how this is all going to play out. I feel like they might meet each other in real life for the first time, which is really exciting. Anyway, I love these three characters. I love this story. I love this world. I love this writing. Like, I'm entranced. This is excellent, and I highly recommend this book. I thought it was going to be like more challenging to read, but I am really like tearing through it. I guess I'm about halfway now. Anyway, talk to you soon. Hello, it is Friday night and I'm so addicted to this book. The stakes are rising in terms of the protagonists potentially meeting each other IRL in their 30s, and I just reached the Sunday goal, meaning I am 2 days ahead on my challenge. Let me go ahead and remove these Saturday and Sunday stickies. I am really emotionally invested, and I am so heartbroken about how the trauma that these characters have experienced is resulting in extreme material consequences and dangerous instability, especially for Abraxa and also for Sash. And I just really wish them both, and every person who is struggling similarly, safety and stability with all my heart. It is Saturday morning and I finished the book, so I surpassed the Monday and Tuesday goals. I stayed up until 2 a.m. reading. I physically could not stop reading. I was sobbing from heartbreak with Abraxa. I loved this book so much. 5 stars. I'm wrecked. That was crazy. Oh my god, I loved it so much. It's about a week later, so I've like had time to sort of calm down and reflect on my experience of the book. I loved this book so much. Initially, I was like really not okay about the ending. And the thing is, like, this ending is not okay. Like, the characters are not okay. And I honestly think that that is something worth knowing before beginning, that like, this is not a story of things working out. This is a story of struggle and trauma and oppression, etc., as well as the beauty and power of friendship and community and fantasy and love. But yeah, like, things are not all right. Things do not work out. At the end of the story, I felt genuinely so stressed. And in the acknowledgements, Jean Thornton writes that she initially didn't think that she was going to keep this ending because she considered it to be ontologically evil. And I dare say that was an accurate assessment. But Casey Plett said that it worked for her, so Jean Thornton decided to keep it. Beautiful book, not all tied up in a pretty bow. I also wanted to say that I realized in reading that the title ASL is truly brilliant because, one, it evokes the late 90s internet culture in which the story is rooted of meeting strangers online and establishing age, sex, location. So it immediately evokes a sort of internet historical period. Stunning. This text is also a deep exploration of the topics of age, sex, and location. Like, these characters in their 30s processing their adolescence, the exploration of transness, and also the geography of New York. So good. And as the final chapters made me realize, ASL is also the initials of the three protagonists, Abraxa, Sash, and Lilith. Genius. I'd also love the title Saga of the Sorceress, which is what their game is called. And the last thing that I want to say is that Alessandra, my girlfriend, and I have been watching Merlin, which pairs really well with this book. So if you are looking for a literary fiction escapist TV show combo, might I suggest ASL by Jean Thornton and Merlin. That is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video.